And welcome to the DCEU Extra. Is Ryan Reynolds playing Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League or not? This is a post Grace Randolph put up in the early hours of this morning. Real cute that everybody's dropping Green Lantern hints now, but just remember, I told you first that he'd be in the Snyder Cut and that they were trying to get Ryan Reynolds. Took a lot of heat for that too. I also tweeted before anyone else that HBO Max Green Lantern show about to cast. First of all, Grace, we knew about the TV show, whether you knew they were about to cast or not. Who gives a shit? Now, let's unpackage what she said here, because this is a lady who says a lot of things, then slowly backtracks. So let's read this again. Real cute, everybody's dropping Green Lantern hints now. But just remember, I told you first that he'd be in the Snyder Cut. She told us first, apparently, he'd be in the Snyder Cut. I think that's true. She does like to take credit for stuff that she never even predicted, right? But yeah. And that they would... Listen, but just remember, I told you first that he'd be in the Snyder Cut. In other words, she told us first that Green Lantern would be in the Snyder Cut. No! Because young Samuel, who is an English actor, was making a lot of hints back in the day when we were fighting for Zack Snyder's Justice League that he was actually playing Lantern, one of the Lanterns in Zack's Justice League, right? He was the one going out there. I was retweeting him. Many of us were retweeting him. That was a fact. So you've got to be careful with wordplay here. So remember this. But just remember, I told you first that he'd be in the Snyder Cut. She means Green Lantern, not Ryan Reynolds, right? And that they were trying to get Ryan Reynolds, right? Is that even true? So she told us first that Green Lantern was in the movie, but not Ryan Reynolds. So the Ryan Reynolds rumours have gone and gone because many people within Snyder's fandom, right? Not me, I'm in Snyder's fandom, but I don't follow Grace around kissing her butt cheeks, right? These people, part of the fandom, who believe everything she says is right, especially now, since she got that interview with Zack Snyder. She's been unbearable. Everyone's listening to her now. Listen, she got an interview. It doesn't mean Snyder's feeding her the whole scripts and his plans, right? That would be ridiculous. Took a lot of heat for that too. So what do I think? Basically, that's what I think. That she's playing with words now. Because she's backing, this is a back down. People are saying she's doubling down, right? She's doubling down. But I don't think she is doubling down. I think she's backtracking. She said, I told you he would be in it, meaning Green Lantern. And I told you they were trying to get Ryan Reynolds. She's changing what she's saying because she now knows, most probably, that Ryan Reynolds, in fact, will not be in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He even joked about that alongside joking about playing Hawkman in Black Adam. That's that. But I have more to say about this. Now, I want to read out a thread from a guy called Mercury, right? At the Snyderverse. You should go and follow him. He does post a lot of good stuff. Grace is doubling down on the Ryan Reynolds Hal Jordan thing. But I just don't ever see it happening. Zack said no compromise. Why would he betray that and include Jeff Johns' Green Lantern in his movie? If I'm wrong, I'll literally give up Twitter for a month. So basically, this is a very interesting opinion. Because if Reynolds is playing Green Lantern, his version of Hal Jordan, in Zack's Justice League, will people then turn on Zack? I think some will. I wouldn't. I'd be fine with it. But some would. Now, he's posted a very interesting interview with Entertainment from Zack Snyder. And as I say, I've just read this. This must be quite old. I can't remember, but this is interesting. I just don't think it was a good fit, he told the New York Daily News. I'm very strict with the universe, and I just don't see a version where that tone is not our world. While the DC Comics films are known for their darkness and serious tone, the CW superhero series, The Flash and Arrow, feature more levity. Even if Grant Gustin is my favourite guy in the world, and he's very good, we made a commitment to the multiverse idea. Snyder continued. So it's just not a thing that's possible. So basically, it looks like they were asking him whether Grant Gustin's The Flash could be his Flash. And he basically said no, because they've embraced the multiverse idea. So is that an old interview? Is that recently? Because they've embraced the multiverse idea. Jim Lee and Walter Hamada have. Just recently, and it was announced on DC Fandom as well. I don't know. So basically, maybe they're saying that Grant Gustin's Flash can't be in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Whatever it's about, it doesn't matter. But Mercury makes a good point. And Mercury continues here. Casting Ryan Reynolds is not the gotcha you all think it is, especially when Johns is allegedly still working on the Green Lantern show, casting BTS. I can't imagine he'd care, but what do I know? It's very, very interesting, actually. Well done, Mercury. A really good point there. It is Jeff Johns' Green Lantern, but I don't think Zack's as hateful and bitter towards Johns as everybody thinks he is. You know, Zack's part of the party again. He's working at Warner Brothers Pictures, which is what he wanted. He's back. So I think it's interesting not to speak for someone, not to think you know who they like and who they don't like and who they'll never work with again. I think it's interesting. The Ryan Reynolds things does stir people up. It's divided the fandom. Not that it takes much to divide our fandom, right? But I think it's an interesting thing, because is Reynolds in the Snyder Cut or not? Now, you would imagine that maybe they want this to be a surprise, but it's not going to be a surprise anymore, right? I think I would prefer it if they just announce it, or if Zack just says no or yes or whatever. But then we don't want everything spoiled, do we? It's a difficult and complicated situation. I am not bothered. I'd be excited to see Ryan's Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, be redeemed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then maybe Zack being able to make his own Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds movie. That would be awesome. And I'm sure Ryan Reynolds would be a little bit intrigued and curious about doing that. But we live in the real world. You know, this is Zack's vision. Why would he do something like this cheap? And it is a bit of cheap it's a cameo. It could be nothing more than that. And as I say, we've got young Samuel, who is obviously clearly playing a Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I forgot his other name, but young Samuel's an actor. He was going around talking that he was in Zack's movie. He didn't say who he was playing, but he said he was in Zack's movie. But he basically was cut by Joss Whedon, right? So we know that Samuel is in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then people started saying maybe he's a Green Lantern. He was liking posts that inferred that he was playing a Lantern, right? So it's interesting. It doesn't mean he's playing the Lantern. It means he could be playing a Lantern. So it doesn't mean that Ryan Reynolds can't reprise his role as Hal. I always assumed that Samuel was playing Hal. I still kind of suspect that he is. But these rumours are gathering momentum. But you have to look at why and the people who are forwarding these rumours. This is not something that's come from Zack Snyder. This is a rumour, as she said, that came from Grace Randolph. Now, people like John Aaron Garza really do believe in Grace Randolph and what she says. If she says it, it's true, it's going to happen, end of. She's not God. She doesn't always know. As I say, I don't have an agenda about Ryan being in this film. I'd quite like it. But I'm also not going to, get on my knees for Grace Randolph every time she says something. I believe she's wrong about this. I believe this is not happening. And seeing how she's changing her words on her most recent post, I'd say that she now knows that he's not going to be in this movie. But I want to know what you think. Do you think that Ryan Reynolds is going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League? It's a no from me, but I don't know for sure. But I want to know what you think. Comment down below, like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with more videos. See you again soon.